Come with me to go diving in the middle of Alabama. That's right, I said Alabama. There's actually a lot of really cool springs and different dive sites all throughout the southeast of the United States. So I've never been here before. This was a new site to me. I was told it was this rock quarry that had a lot of deep dives to it. And I knew that there was things that were sunk here. I just didn't ever make it here until now. So this is Mark. He is the other instructor that's going to be there today. He's actually the one teaching two of our students, and I'm just tagging along so I could check this place out, get to know it, kind of get reacquainted with the water because I've been out for a little couple of years here. So I really like the setup here. We have some perfect spots to do skills, get our weight checks done, do all of our kind of surface stuff right here. There's clearly a lot of like geese poop and stuff, but hopefully the visibility is good in the water. But I am so excited, as you can see here. He was telling me that there's like koi fish, bass, crappies, all kinds of wildlife in the water. So I had to check it out myself. Gorgeous day. I can't tell you how nice it was. I was really nervous that the water was going to be freezing cold, but it was actually really good. I got it initially with a 3mm, and then I downgraded to a 1mm just because that one was a little bit more comfortable, and I was perfectly fine. I did this dive at the end of September. It was September 30th, and I was just so surprised with how beautiful this entire area was. It's really, really unique because they have a really nice way of taking care of the water here with testing it, making sure that it's safe and all the levels are good. It's dog friendly, as you can see. They don't open the gates until a certain time each day, and they don't open the dive shop until a certain time each day. So you want to catch it on dates that it's not super crowded. Now, the shop in here does have some snacks and water and things like that. I brought my own Beyond Meat jerky. Love that stuff. It is delicious. Here we are getting ready to get into the water, listening to our dive brief. I am super excited with this new towel, like changing towel that I bought. I am able to just clear as day in front of everybody, change and do what I need to do. Sometimes there's not great bathrooms. Sometimes they're a little bit far away. Sometimes you want to do it during the dive brief so you can hear what's going on and be a part of the conversation, all of the above. So here's what I'm trying on my 3mm. It's super old and it didn't quite fit as well as I would like, but it still got the job done. Have to protect my very fair skin with some sunscreen, even though it's definitely going to get washed off right away in the water. But got my gear ready off camera and putting this stuff back on again. You guys, it's not a sport that you need to be super physically fit, but having to walk down all this trail with your gear on is a little bit of a hustle. So here I am taking a nap right before we get in the water. Really, it's because Mark was giving the dive brief, and that's kind of a long time there. So getting ready to go under the water. Of course, that first jolt of cold hitting your hair, hitting your head and everything is always fun, but I was so happy. The visibility was great. There wasn't a ton of divers out there today, so we really got to explore the dive site and feel really comfortable the entire time. So if you have any issues with clearing your ears, always make sure that you're telling your instructor. First, we got some skills done for our two new open water students here, just playing around, and I just kind of swam around and got to see the area. Then we went on a kind of exploring field trip here. And the first thing we found was this cool dolphin statue. We each took our selfies and got some pics and videos and stuff to go home and show mom. And yeah, just that alone was really fun to see. Some dive sites really don't have a lot to interact with or see or take pictures and videos with. So that I was really excited about just in itself, but just wait. The next spot that we went to, I swear, the Mark was booking it. He was swimming so fast to this area, I was huffing and puffing. Good thing you guys can't hear what's going on. But they sunk a 14-foot skeleton. Look at how small the diver is behind him. It was kind of spooky. It was kind of eerie. It was right at the thermocline, which is about 45 degrees. So it was really chilly around that area. And if you got too scared, here's a toilet for you, so you can let go of your bowels. All good. We did manage to get down to the 60-foot mark, and there's this cool serpent thing down there, and that was really, really chilly. So if you do go deep here, make sure you are dressing warm. But if you're staying shallow, you can absolutely stay in a 1mm. So I'm just playing around because, of course, they're doing skills and stuff, and I'm just there to have fun. So I am now changing out my tank. We got out after that second dive. We did 2 back-to-back, and now we're changing tanks. So I am getting my stuff put together here. I do have a plated BCD, which means that it's heavy. And so I don't need to have a lot of weight. I usually do overweight myself just so that I have more control with the air and that I don't struggle to get down in any way. So I have a bright green mouthpiece, so you always know which regulator is mine. And so, like I said, it was such a beautiful day. I was not too hot, too cold at any point in time. Obviously, got my heart rate up with some of that, ruck marching with my gear on here. But it is definitely some muscles that you don't use all the time. But I always tell people scuba diving is a leisure sport. It is really a very comfortable, not meant to be fast. It is very exploring. You just have as much fun as you'd like at your pace. Some people, like Mark, swim really, really fast. That's fine. You can just take your time. As long as you can see your buddy, let him know, slow down, and you'll be perfectly fine. I've been using this really cheap dive computer. It's doing the trick. I used to have a really expensive one. It's kind of out of date now. So be careful when you're buying dive computers so that they don't turn into something that needs to be updated and then you lose track. The videos on the surface here were not great. It was too bright. But this was one of my favorite parts of the dive on this day. There's a full airplane that was sunk underwater. This was giving like some real Lost vibes, some like disaster type, like movies and shows. But this was done on purpose. All the things that were sunk here were done on purpose. They do have a really cool Halloween dive if you do want to come and do that and see the skeleton during Halloween. But yeah, you could come up with some really cool stories with this. And really, I love how the ecosystem just grows around these sunken spots. And so Pelham is privately owned. This location is privately owned. And so they really do take a good care of maintaining it. There we saw one fish. I didn't get a lot of pictures of fish or videos of fish just because I feel like they're fish. If it was a unique underwater creature, I'd probably get more pictures. I was more excited about all the stuff that was sunk here. It kind of felt like Disneyland for divers. So here's another boat that was sunk. Here is when we're following the line down to the deeper end. As you can see how much darker it is here, but it still wasn't horrible visibility. There's a sailboat down there. I think there was like fire trucks, a school bus. I didn't get to see everything, and it didn't go as deep as it could go. We did have some buddies this day that did go to 130 feet. I don't know if they saw anything over there, but I do know that you can get your deep diver certification here. So a couple more vehicles, really cool kind of older fashioned type vehicles, things like that. I think they sunk a newer boat. We didn't get to that one, but yeah, it just felt like a graveyard for old vehicles under there. And as we're finishing up the dives here and they were getting their last skills, I decided to, just send you guys a little love on the algae. And then we're getting ready to get out after we did like our tired diver toes and things like that. And yeah, my hair stayed wet for pretty much the rest of the day because it's very, very thick. Packed up my stuff and headed the 2.5 hours back home. Thanks for coming along.